Hey guys, welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. I'm Taco Mage, and I have a confession to make. I screwed up, and I screwed up big. And not in the normal way that I screw up where I forget to record or that kind of thing. No, I just played really poorly, consistently for a long time. Basically what happened is I decided to do the bean challenge. It's a challenge that I've done many times. It's not actually all that hard. It just requires a lot of patience because you basically stand around waiting for the bean to recharge in every room a couple of times. It's one of those challenges that, while not difficult, it is trying on the patience. And what happened was, in my very first run, it was going so well. See, very quickly I put together this. And I also found this. And I was elated. It was basically a one run. I had two items that together meant that not only did I have a way of producing damage other than the bean with Guppy's hairball and flies, but I also had an extremely powerful bomb so that when things got difficult, run into a bad boss, get a bad room, things like that, I had a way to just, drop a couple of bombs with my ample supply and just get my way on through. I basically was set. And then I did something extremely stupid. I knew better. I really did. I knew that pill was a possibility. I knew that pill could be in my pool. And I knew that if you give the game even a little chance to totally screw you, it will. And it did. And I got salty. And I shouldn't have. I knew that the game was going to do something like that, and that's how Isaac is. The Binding of Isaac will totally screw you if you give it a little opportunity like that. And the trick of playing the game and enjoying the game and doing anything with the game is taking those moments and just owning them and being like, oh, well, that was dumb, and just moving on. And generally, that is what I do. But the problem is I really don't like the bean challenge because it is so slow and it's so not like any of the other Binding of Isaac anything. It's just very slow, requires you to stand around in rooms dodging until the bean recharges and firing it off. So I was already kind of in a bad mood for having to do this challenge, so as soon as that happened, I became upset. And inevitably, because that pill essentially ended the run, I died. And then I made my mistake, which was I kept playing. I knew better. I knew better than to do that. That was really my biggest mistake, was that I kept playing. I was upset, and I kept playing. And that meant that I was in no mindset at all to actually beat the bean. Because when you get upset, you get impatient. And the bean is entirely about patience. So I started playing sloppy, I started making bad choices, and worst of all, I started trying to rush. And you can't do that with the bean. So, inevitably, well, so yeah, I died many times to the bean that night. All told, I think I played for 3 hours and racked up, I don't know, maybe a dozen deaths. At some point I just stopped recording because I was like, I'm just gonna beat it and then say it off screen that I beat it. So I racked up a lot of deaths. And I didn't end up beating it that night. So, fast forward 3 days, and So as you can see, that was my very first run of that day, and I beat it right off the bat because I was willing to be patient, I was willing to play smart, and put the run together and work with what the game was giving me. And that's really the lesson here. Don't play angry. Especially don't play a mode that requires you to be patient. There are certain parts of Isaac that you can play angry with. The bean is not one of those. Playing angry in the bean is just certain destruction. So, yeah, I ended up coming away with a victory eventually, but it was ugly, and the salt was flowing so heavily through all the recordings that I'm not going to subject you guys to it. It wasn't funny, it wasn't interesting, it wasn't even funny in that, oh, he's so angry kind of way, you know, it's like the game's trolling him for us. No, it was just me whining about how much I didn't like the bean challenge, and that's not fun to listen to. It's not fun to watch. I cringed when I was redoing the video when I realized that there was no way to cut it in such a way that it was going to be interesting. I tried for a week, which is why I didn't post any Binding of Isaac videos last week, because I was trying to cut this thing in such a way that it wasn't horrible to watch. And ultimately I failed, and instead you get the montage that I put together today. So hopefully that was a little bit better to watch than, you know, a couple hours of me whining. I think it's better just to put that behind me and continue on. And since recording this, I've actually put together a decent winning streak, and one silly death that I was a lot less salty about because it was totally my fault and I saw it coming a mile away. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Sorry about the kind of different video today, but I do appreciate it. If you liked this episode, if you could toss me a like. And if you want to see more of the same, go ahead and subscribe to me to get updates on when I put out new videos. And if you're looking for even more content, I highly recommend checking out Mr. Toasty. He puts out a lot of cool videos, and while he's kind of quiet right now, that'll eventually go away and he'll get right back to posting. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Later!